Chapter 31 Tang 3's reputation drops again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Back to Tang San. Not long after Xiao Wu asked Tang San to comb her hair, Tang San and his group set off to the sunset forest to prepare for hunting soul rings. Speaking of this soul hunt, Xiao Wu chuckles. Douluo Xiao Wu, I won't be miserable again, right? Seeing the word haha on the diary, Xiao Wu, who had not yet recovered, was shocked again. Let's talk about Lu Erlong first. During this time of soul hunting, Lu Erlong almost forced Yu Xiaogang to bow to the overlord. If it hadn't been for the sudden appearance of a spirit beast to cause trouble, Yu Xiaogang, who had given up resistance and started to take the initiative, would have become a couple with Lu Erlong. Douluo Ilyo Erlong, this is like my character. I asked why I agreed to Flender's bad idea. It turns out that's what I thought. But not anymore. Douluo Yibabaidong. Hypocritical. If you want it, just say it. What are you putting there? Never mind. I am too lazy to scold you Xiaogang. Let's talk about my silly Xiao Wu. How to say? I really doubt Xiao Wu's IQ now. Douluo Xiao Wu. When did I become your Xiao Wu? I am my own. Also, my IQ is not low. At that time, Xiao Wu almost died because she could not avoid the attack of the man-faced demon spider. Fortunately, with the obstruction of the fairy grass acacia heartbroken red, I was only slightly injured and was not directly penetrated by the man-faced demon spider's spider spear. As a result, Tang San thought Xiao Wu was dead, so he lost his mind and killed the man-faced demon spider, and kept using the 8 spider spears to absorb the energy of the man-faced demon spider. Yes, I specifically highlighted the 4 words losing one's mind. Because based on Tang San's subsequent performance, I don't believe it if he really lost his mind at that time. After all, when Tang San knew that Xiao Wu was not dead, he instantly regained his senses. He did not immediately run over to care about Xiao Wu, but continued to let his 8 spider spears absorb the energy of the man-faced demon spider. Have a look. Do you really care about Xiao Wu's performance? You must know that although Xiao Wu did not die at that time, his injuries were not serious. You, the so-called brother who would definitely protect Xiao Wu, did not come over to care about and comfort Xiao Wu as soon as possible. It was already inappropriate. It was actually still there absorbing the energy of the man-faced demon spider. How? Are you afraid that if you spend a few minutes to comfort and care for Xiao Wu, all the energy of the human-faced demon spider will be lost? You are so unwilling to waste any energy, and you have to wait until the man-faced demon spider has absorbed all the energy before you even think of going to see Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu follows you, Tang San, and is simply unlucky for 800 million lifetimes. When you recognized Xiao Wu as your sister, didn't you say that if you wanted to hurt Xiao Wu, you had to step over your body? But why do I see you stepping over Xiao Wu every time? This is not the first time. Xiao Wu is also stupid. When Tang San did this, not only was she not angry, but she was still thinking in her heart that if she hadn't been heartbroken by lovesickness, she would have almost said goodbye to Tang San forever. Why haven't I met a fool like Xiao Wu before? Douluo Xiao Wu. Douluo Xiao Wu. Douluo Yiru Shuang, that's true. I feel more and more that Xiao Wu is really stupid. But. Speaking of Tang San's 8 spider spears, which can absorb the energy of other life forms, I can only say that Tang San was lucky. If Tang San had been born in the Douluo II era 10,000 years later, he would have been recognized as an evil soul master based on the 8 spider spears alone. In fact, if the Bon Douluo of Qibao Glazed Sect and Pope Bibi Dong of Wuhuan Palace were born in the second Douluo era, they would be considered evil soul masters when they awakened their Wuhuan. I have to say that I am convinced that Douluo II uses the attributes of martial souls or the functions of soul bones to determine whether he is an evil soul master. If I were to meet a great person who came up with this theory, I would give him 100 million ear melons, which I couldn't refuse. The 2 Douluo girls asked, is this theory of identifying evil soul masters really wrong? Haha. I really want to know, if those people in Douluo who worship Tang San infinitely know that Tang San is the ancestor of the evil soul master, how should those people in Douluo who worship Tang San respond? The two Douluo girls said, "Ah, this." Although they were a little stunned, the strange thing was that this news did not cause much sensation among the two Douluo girls. Douluo Yishuiuir in the live broadcast room, people from Douluo, do Tang San really have a lot of people who admire him in Douluo? The live broadcast has been going on for so long, you guys should talk once. I did some research before and saw the name of your world on the live broadcast room. You should be able to speak, right? Douluo in the live broadcast room said for a long time, it's true. The main thing is that the diaries written by Shen Fan now, except for Tang Wudong, are basically about Douluo, and we can't talk to each other at all. I think it should be the same in other worlds. Now that we have talked about Tang San and the evil spirit master, let's write about Tang Ya by the way. Well. The reputation of my poor brother Tang San is about to drop a lot again. Speaking of words. Tang Ya is the Tang sect's first descendant. I don't remember how many generations of sect leaders Tang Ya was, but it doesn't affect the subsequent plot. Douluo Tang Ya. After 10,000 years, the Tang sect, which was once extremely powerful during the Douluo period, has gradually declined. By the time Tang Ya's generation came, the hidden weapons had been completely suppressed by the Soul Guide, and even the Tang sect itself and the Tang sect's leader had been wiped out by a small third-rate sect. All of this made Tang Ya extremely painful after losing the Tang sect and her parents. She always wanted to improve herself, hoping that one day she could go back and take revenge, and at the same time make the Tang sect glorious again. But Tang Ya's parents, and all the Tang sect ancestors who have worked hard for the rise of Tang sect for thousands of years don't know that they can't rebuild Tang sect's glory, not because their talents are not good, but because Tang sect threw deceptions on everyone in the Tang sect. In order to keep up with Tang San's footsteps, and because I admire Tang San too much as the first-generation sect leader, I don't know who is a wise man who came up with an idea. That is, every future generation of Tang sect masters must possess blue silver grass as their martial spirit. This strange rule has also been approved and recognized by everyone in the Tang sect. Chapter 32 Tang Ya, Tang 3, you and I are at odds with each other. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Things have developed to this point. If Tang San really cares about the development of Tang sect, then he should tell the people of Tang sect that his martial spirit is not the so-called waste martial spirit blue silver grass, but blue silver grass. The emperor among them is the blue silver emperor. Don't say that Tang San had already gone to the god realm at that time, that gods in the god realm could not interfere with the lower realm, and that he could not break the rules of the god realm. Looking back from the second part of Douluo Dalu to the fourth part of Douluo Dalu, Tang San violated the rules of the lower realm and even personally dealt with the lower realm for his own benefit. Now he just sent a word to the lower realm. This pair, as far as Tang San was concerned, it didn't matter. The girls, there are actually Douluo 3 and Douluo 4. Then is there Douluo 5? Of course. Tang San did not tell the people of the Tang sect that his martial spirit was actually the blue silver emperor. This was just a small matter. Douluo Tang Ya, is this a trivial matter? So what's the big deal? What really deceives people about him is that he didn't leave a complete inheritance for the Tang sect at all. First, let's take Shen Kung as an example. For the truly complete version of Shen Kung, the earlier you practice it, the better. This way, you have a high chance of becoming a peerless genius with full innate soul power when you awaken your martial soul at the age of 6. For example, Tang San. Perhaps no one knew until the fourth part of Douluo continent tens of thousands of years later that Tang San, who had suppressed Douluo continent for tens of thousands of years, had no talent at all. According to my observations and calculations, Tang San's innate soul power level should not exceed 1 level at most. Are you surprised? Is it surprising? Don't be surprised, don't be surprised. I have said before that the current fake Tang San is from the Tang sect from another world. He is not like those children who really grew up from babies and have to slowly become sensible. Now I think Tang San started practicing Shen Gong at the age of 3. He continued to practice until he was about to awaken his martial spirit at the age of 6, and then he felt that he had reached the bottleneck of the first level of Shen Gong. Pay attention to the time. Tang San started practicing Shen Kong at the age of 3, and it took him nearly 3 years before he reached the first bottleneck, which was reaching the 10th level of the Soul Master profession. Then, based on Tang San's first level of innate soul power, the time it takes for him to cultivate the 9th level of soul power is a few days to 3 years. On average, it takes about 4 months to reach the first level of soul power. You can see it now. Even if he reaches the realm of Soul Master, it takes less than 4 months to advance to 1 level. However, it would take Tang San 4 months to advance to the level of Soul Master. This shows how poor Tang San's innate talent is. I even suspect that if Tang San didn't have Shen Kong, he might be an ordinary person with 0-level innate soul power, and he wouldn't be able to practice at all. Now let's take a look at Shen Kong in the second Douluo era. Obviously, the most important function of Shen Kong, which can increase the level of innate soul power, is gone. Otherwise, not only the Tang sect leader's martial soul must be blue-silver grass, but even if the martial souls of everyone in the entire sect are blue-silver grass, with the addition of Shen technique's function of increasing the level of innate soul power, under the age, the entire sect is basically full of peerless geniuses with innate soul power. Not to mention being wiped out by a third-rate sect, the Tang sect will not destroy all the other forces on the Douluo continent. This is already considered a sign of mercy from the Tang sect. Douluo Tang Ya. Douluo 1 and Douluo 2 girls, the analysis makes sense. I still said the same thing, I just felt sorry for Tang Ya. Because no matter how hard you try, Tang Ya's talent at blue-silver grass just won't work. I can only watch helplessly as Hui Yuhao, who used to call me Teacher Xiaoya, surpasses me step by step. Similarly, I can only watch helplessly as all the disciples who joined the Tang sect have become the Shrek 7 monsters. However, as the head of the Tang sect, she is not even qualified to run for the Shrek 7 monsters. Girls, how pitiful. After talking about the Shen Kong, let's talk about the Tang sect's hidden weapons that have declined in the second Douluo era. Perhaps everyone in Douluo era believes that the decline of Tang sect's hidden weapons is due to the emergence of combat soul guides. The 2 Douluo girls asked, isn't it? Actually, this is completely wrong. The 2 Douluo girls. I'll just say one thing. The truly powerful Tang sect hidden weapon can kill gods. Is it okay to fight a soul guide? However, with the end of Douluo Yi's plot, Tang San was afraid that the spread of advanced hidden weapons would pose a threat to him, so he recycled all the finished high-end hidden weapons, as well as the blueprints for making advanced hidden weapons. Since then, only some low-level hidden weapons and some intermediate hidden weapons have remained in the Tang sect inheritance. Douluo Tang Ya, I hate, that when other people see these contents in the diary, they may think Tang San is hateful, and they may think Tang Ya is pitiful, but most of them just have the mentality of watching the show without caring about themselves. However, these contents are no longer as simple as a bolt from the blue for Tang Ya, but it is enough to destroy all her hopes and persistence. In short, to sum it up in one sentence, everyone in the Tang sect takes it seriously, except Tang San, the founder, who does not take it seriously. Here, I have to say that Tang San was really cruel, not only to his enemies, but also to his own people. When the Tang sect was exterminated, the entire sect was loyal to him, the first-generation leader of the Tang sect. How could he bear to watch helplessly as Tang Ya was the only one who was stabbed in the Tang sect and remain indifferent? Obviously there was no need for him to take action at that time. He only needed to show his spiritual thoughts a little, and the other party would surrender honestly. Look at me. To think he would say such nonsense. I was so confused. After all, if the Tang sect is immortal, how can Tang San use the Tang sect's quota to join Shrek Academy without taking the exam to attract Hui Yuhao to Shrek? If the Tang sect is immortal and there are many senior disciples in the sect, why should a new disciple who has just joined the Tang sect compete with those old disciples for a spot? What's more, the Tang sect is immortal, and Hui Yuhao is not qualified to join the Tang sect with the cultivation talent he showed at that time. So, in order for the plan to deceive Hui Yuhao to go smoothly, the Tang clan must be destroyed. Even if no one else takes action, once the time is right, Tang San will not hesitate to personally kill everyone in the Tang clan who are loyal to him. In Tang San's words, since you are loyal to me, you should feel honored that I want to kill you. Douluo Tang Ya, Tang San, you and I are incompatible. Chapter 33 Tang Ya plans to disband the Tang clan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Others may not know how much the members of the Tang sect have sacrificed to bring the Tang sect back to its glory, but as the head of the Tang sect, he is very aware of the hardships involved. It can be said that every generation of Tang sect disciples has devoted their entire lives in order to achieve the goal of bringing Tang sect back to its glory. Even after countless generations of hard work, there is still no hope of success, and there has never been any hope of success. Gave up on this goal. It's better now. It turns out that it's not that the ancestors and seniors of the Tang sect didn't work hard enough, but that everything about the Tang sect was a scam from the beginning. What's more, according to what Shen Fan said, when the Tang clan was destroyed and its members were knifed, Tang San witnessed the whole process in the God realm, and even acquiesced. This made Tang Ya, who now knew the truth, not be angry. Father and mother, your efforts are not worth it. Forgive me. Once I find a suitable opportunity, I will completely disband the Tang sect. From now on, I am just Tang Ya, the Tang Ya who seeks revenge on Tang San, not the Tang sect leader Tang Ya. After saying that, Tang Ya closed her eyes and quickly opened them again, but the original anger and sadness in her eyes turned into unyielding. On the other side, Shen Fan didn't know that another person who was supposed to be on Tang San's side hated Tang San. After pouring some water on Ah Yin, he lay down next to Ah Yin and continued to write in his diary, Douluo Yin. Actually, those Tang sect disciples from Tang Ya's parents' era were quite lucky. At least, they don't know that their destruction is the result of Tang San, the founder of the Tang sect's acquiescence, and they will not die in peace because of it. It is not like the 4 single attribute clans that joined the Tang sect when the Tang sect was first established in the Douluo era. These 4 families are the ones who will truly die with their eyes open. After Tang San got the help of the gods and killed Bibi Dong to end the Wuhuan Empire and Wuhuan Palace, it didn't take long for these 4 families to be hunted down by the Yin sect and destroyed. However, if you ask me, these 4 families deserve it. Douluo by Qinxiang. Why do we deserve this? Back then, when there was a conflict between the Wuhuan Palace and the Yin sect, and their 4 families were abandoned by the Yin sect to attract firepower, they should have known what the Yin sect was all about. Later, these 4 families suffered heavy losses from the Wuhuan Palace. In order not to be completely wiped out, they swore never to have anything to do with the Yin sect. Only then did the kind-hearted Wuhuan Palace let these 4 families go. As a result, all 4 families broke their promises. Especially the Force clan, they have always regarded themselves as Tang Hao's dogs. But if you are willing to be dogs, what's the use? When the reputation of Yin sect became so bad, you 4 families made a lot of efforts. You felt comfortable scolding the Yin sect back then, right? Hee. But do you think that the Yin sect will not settle accounts with your 4 families over these matters? While Wuhuan Palace still exists, you are still useful and can be used as cannon fodder to fight against the people of Wuhuan Palace. Once the Wuhuan Palace is gone, let alone the matter of settling the accounts after the fall, just by keeping you, the Yin sect will never be able to wash away the shameful incident of running away without a fight when facing the Wuhuan Palace. After all, your 4 single attribute clans who know the truth of what happened back then still exist. To put it bluntly, if your 4 families are not destroyed, the Yin sect will have trouble sleeping and eating. Douluo by Qinxiang. In fact, it can be seen from the fact that Tang San is not even willing to give Bai Qinxiang a place in the God realm that the Yin sect is planning to take action against the 4 single attribute clans. It's just that the people who talk about the 4 single attribute clans are all brainless idiots, and they don't even think of this. Of course, these are all my guesses, but it is indeed a fact that there were no 4 single attribute clans in the Tang sect in the second Douluo era. If the Haotian sect hadn't taken action to destroy the 4 single attribute clans, it would not be justified at all. First of all, after the Tang sect disappeared in the Wuhuan palace, it became one of the 2 hegemons in the Douluo era, the other being the Haotian sect. As the 4 single attribute clans that govern the 4 Tang sect halls, one can imagine their status in the Tang sect. In this case, if you want to destroy these 4 clans, if the Tang sect does not acquiesce and the Haotian sect takes action, no one will be able to destroy the 4 single attribute clans. As for saying that the 4 single attribute clans might have been wiped out by outsiders later, that is even more nonsense. If all the 4 single attribute clans were destroyed by outsiders, then why does the Tang sect still exist? And even if the 4 single attribute clans were really wiped out by outsiders, it would be impossible to wipe them out so cleanly that not even a single one would be left. Seriously, if the Tang sect really watched the 4 single attribute clans being wiped out by outsiders without stepping in to help, then the Tang sect would be even more disgusting. But, then again, the 4 single attribute clans, apart from Bai Qinxiang with 2 ponytails, I have no favorable impressions of any of them. Especially the Li clan, I will destroy them in the future. Douluo Bai Qinxiang, we haven't offended you, right? Well. Who told me to be a dummy? I just have a crush on Bai Qinxiang. Otherwise, I will never let go of the other 3 sects of the 4 single attribute sections. Douluo Bai Qinxiang, this. Girls. Ahem. Right far away. This time I am writing about Tang Ya. It is very inappropriate to write about another girl in front of a girl. Girls, it's even more inappropriate for you to write that one likes the other. Actually, Tang Ya's blue-silver grass is not an ordinary blue-silver grass. Her martial spirit should be called dark blue-silver grass. The effect is similar to Tang San's 8 spider spear, it can absorb the energy of other creatures for cultivation. Using Douluo 2 standards, that is an evil soul master. Douluo Tang Ya, could it be that my martial spirit brought me the evil aura that existed when I was born? I thought it was the ability I carried. Dark blue silver grass. This name sounds very bad. Douluo Shen Liner in the live broadcast room, Tang Ya, please come to my office. Douluo Tang Ya in the live broadcast room, I understand. Since they all owned a copy of the diary anyway, Tang Ya was not afraid that Shen Liner would do anything to harm her. As I said before, all the disciples of the Tang sect have become the new generation of Shrek 7 monsters, but Tang Ya, the head of the Tang sect, is the only one who is not even qualified to sign up. That is, after the Shrek 7 monsters were selected this time, Tang Ya, who seemed to be really happy for Hui Yuhao and others, soon left Shrek Academy alone and disappointed. Chapter 34 Zhang Lexuan's Incident. You are listening at novelfull.audio. And this time, Tang Ya is planning to return to the Tiando Empire alone to take revenge. At this time, because she saw that the gap between herself and Beibei and others was getting bigger and bigger, she had completely given up suppressing her devouring ability and began to use her devouring ability to practice. It's just that Tang Ya is different from ordinary evil soul masters. She didn't lose her mind because of this. Unfortunately, Tang Ya's journey of revenge happened to be seen by a passing evil soul master. In the end, she was captured by the evil soul master and taken back to the Holy Spirit cult, a force established by the evil soul master. She lost her original memory from then on, became the blue-silver saint of the Holy Spirit sect. Douluo Shishue in the live broadcast room, blue-silver saint. Tang Ya, do you want to come to our Holy Spirit church? I guarantee you will have a better future than you did in Shrek Academy. Douluo Tang Ya in the live broadcast room, not interested. In the past, Tang Ya might have been tempted to take revenge, but now that she was rewarded with a copy of the diary, she no longer wanted to take the path of an evil soul master. Douluo Shishue in the live broadcast room, okay. As the owner of a copy of the diary, Yi Shishue could more or less guess what Tang Ya was thinking, so he knew he couldn't force it. To be honest, I can't say whether Tang Ya being caught in the Holy Spirit cult is a good thing or a bad thing. In the Holy Spirit cult, it only took Tang Ya about 5 years to reach the realm of Soul Saint, and without the help of the person who captured her and returned to the Holy Spirit cult, Tang Ya's revenge would not have succeeded. Instead, it will end with his own demise. I want to make a digression here. I really feel that Bebe, Tang Ya's boyfriend, is unreliable. With the strength of Tang Ya's enemy, the Iron Blood sect, Shrek Academy randomly sent an elder there and could destroy them with just one move. As for inviting the elders of Shrek Academy to help, it was just a matter of words for Bebe. However, Bebe clearly knew that Tang Ya had always wanted to seek revenge from the Iron Blood sect, and he, Bebe, also had the ability to help Tang Ya take revenge, but he was just unwilling to help Tang Ya. This makes me have to wonder whether Bebe pursues Tang Ya because of true love or for other reasons. Etc. I remembered. If I remember correctly, it seems that the reason Bebe got close to Tang Ya in the first place was because he was instructed by Shrek's top brass. It seems that's right. Bebe let go of Zhang Lexuan, a good fiancé, and insisted on pursuing Tang Ya, probably just to cooperate with Tang San's plan. Douluo Zhang Lexuan. Douluo Tang Ya. But this is understandable. Bebe is a descendant of Xiaogang. No matter what he does, I will not be surprised. After all, the shameless bloodline is there. It is inheritance and it is impossible to change it. Zhang Lexuan, the second Douluo, said, "What kind of hatred or grudges are there?" Just like Bebe Xuanzumyun, the famous dragon god Douluo among the two Douluo, he is not a good thing either. He told Zhang Lexuan that he had already helped her take revenge. On this point, I am extremely skeptical. At that time, Zhang Lexuan's family was attacked by unknown forces. The attackers were all discovered and killed by at least the Soul King or above. How could a child like Zhang Lexuan be left alone? Not found yet. Also, Moon's arrival was too fast and too coincidental. In fact, I am more inclined to believe that the so-called unknown force that destroyed the Zhang Lexuan family was Shrek's people. To put it more clearly, this force was sent by Moon. The reason is also very simple. Shrek's talents are in short supply. At that time, Mun could not live long, and Shrek did not have a sea-fixing needle that could protect Shrek in his place. At this time, Zhang Lexuan, a unique genius who was rare to see in a century, was targeted by Mun. It will be explained easily next. If the Zhang family still existed, then Zhang Lexuan would not be able to serve Shrek wholeheartedly. Only when the Zhang family disappeared and Shrek Academy did a great favor to Zhang Lexuan that she could not repay, could Zhang Lexuan be devoted to protecting Shrek. Douluo Shen Liner in the live broadcast room, Lu Xian, calm down first, this is just Shen Fan's guess. Kai Meyer, the second Douluo in the live broadcast room, yes, Lu Xian, please calm down first. Zhang Lexuan, the second Douluo in the live broadcast room, I know. Having said that, Zhang Lexuan began to carefully recall what happened that year. Some people may say that if Muen died, wouldn't there still be Taotai Douluo Xuanzi? He. As for this guy, if others don't know it, how can Moon not know that this guy is just a piece of mud that can't stand up to the wall? It's okay to let Xuanzi bully the weak, but if he is allowed to be Shrek's top decision-maker, Shrek may be gone in less than 10 years. You know, this Taotai Douluo Xuanzi is respectfully called the Supreme Elder of the Holy Spirit sect. Douluo to Shrek and the girls, what, of course, this is just a joke. The reason why Xuanzi got this title is mainly because the number of Shrek Academy elites who were tricked to death by his unreliability was many times more than those who were tricked by the Holy Spirit. Douluo Shrek's inner court ladies, I understand. Okay, let's end today's diary here. I have to go to Shrek Academy to get Xiao Wu's wooden comb in the evening. Now while it's still bright, I have to go to Shrek Academy to find where Xiao Wu's dormitory is. After writing this, Shen Fan put away his diary and looked at Ah Yin who was motionless at the side. At the same time, Douluo is in a dormitory of Shrek Academy. This is dull. It's not just talk, but you really want to come and get my wooden comb. Xiao Wu didn't know whether she was embarrassed or angry, her face turned red. Doesn't that mean he likes you very much? Ning Rongrong said, obviously not in high spirits because she didn't catch up with Shen Fan in the morning. Who wants to like this Liumang? Xiao Wu hammered Ning Rongrong's shoulder, and her face turned even redder. Then what are you going to do? Are you obediently placing the wooden comb in a conspicuous place for Shen Fan to take, or are you planning to hide it? Zhu Zhuqing asked. Ugh. Of course I just put it in a conspicuous place and let him take it. I'm afraid that if he can't be found elsewhere, he will come looking for me. After all, this guy is just a fool. Xiao Wu was a little depressed. It seems that you quite trust this Shen Fan. Zhu Zhuqing was a little surprised. Through the diary, Zhu Zhuqing also knew how important the wooden comb was to Xiao Wu. Unexpectedly, Xiao Wu was willing to give the wooden comb to Shen Fan for safekeeping. Chapter 35 Give Tang Hao a Year to Kill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The other side, Shen Fan exchanged a pack of fertilizer from the diary mall for Ah Yin to grow quickly, and poured it all around Ah Yin. Then he clapped his hands with satisfaction, used a teleportation talisman, and came to Tiando Shrek Academy. Jia Jia Jia. The outsider aura is easy to use. I made such a big noise in Shrek Academy in the morning, but now the students passing by me inevitably ignored me. Maybe it was because he was used to writing diaries in the past 2 days. As soon as he arrived at the gate of Tiando Shrek Academy, Shen Fan subconsciously took out his diary and started writing. Girls, didn't you say you won't write today? Sure enough, a man's mouth is so deceptive. Wait a moment. If it is like this, it seems that I can go and straighten Tang Hao. Douluo Tang Yuehua. Douluo Yin, although you helped me fertilize, I am very grateful to you, but can you stop targeting Hao? Unfortunately, Shen Fan couldn't hear Ah Yin's words at all. At this moment, he was already walking around the Tiando Shrek Academy, sensing Tang Hao's position and writing in his diary. In the morning, Tang Hao was able to follow me, probably because he kept staring at me and never looked away. But now as long as I don't take the initiative to attack him, he will just ignore me like everyone else. But with my current strength, if I attack Tang Hao directly with ordinary means, there is no chance that he will even be slightly injured. Then, what should I do to impress Tang Hao with one blow? Yes. I am so talented. As he wrote this, the smile on Shen Fan's face was quite strange. Go find Xiao Wu first. As soon as I get Xiao Wu's wooden comb, I'll come to punish Tang Hao. At this time, Shen Fan had also discovered Tang Hao hiding in the dark and returned to Tiando Shrek Academy calmly. When I find time in the future, I will go to the barber shop to learn how to comb my hair. Otherwise, if Xiao Wu asks me to comb her hair in the future, I will say that I don't know how. Wouldn't that be embarrassing? Douluo Xiao Wu, how could I let you comb my hair? What a talkative guy. Xiao Wu snorted coldly in her heart, and at the same time couldn't help but think of the fun Zhu Zhuqing and Ning Rongrong had made on her just now, and her cheeks suddenly bulged in depression. I'm really lucky, I found Shrek Sanmei's dormitory so quickly. Unfortunately, it's still early and they haven't slept yet. Never mind. I'd better take stock of the fairy grass I got from Tang San first. Writing in his heart, Shen Fan came to a remote place, sat cross-legged on the ground, and then took out a book that had been exchanged in the diary mall for a long time and started to read. This is the Nine-Tailed Fox Flower. Looking at the introduction to this book, it seems to be quite suitable for Hulaina, a vixen. Douluo Hulaina, you are the vixen. Keep it for now and talk about it later. Douluo Yishuiur in the live broadcast room. Why do I think it's a bit wrong to talk about this later? Douluo Yiwowu in the live broadcast room said, because people have awnings, everything they see looks like glazing. Is this the mysterious fire dragon lotus? It seems to fit well with Lu Erlong or Douluo's Wu Feng. Leave it alone. The same will be discussed later. This is the Jiuyao Void Dragon Vine. This thing is suitable for Dugu Yen or Dugu Bo. There is no need to talk about this in the future. Go directly to Tiendo Royal Academy tomorrow to knock Dugu Yen unconscious and help her refine it. After all, these fairy herbs originally belonged to the Dugu family. Dugu Bo, I'm sorry, if I find another fairy grass that suits you, I'll give it to you. Who makes you not a beauty? Douluo Duguian. Girls. This is. Soon, time passed rapidly as Shen Fan checked the functions of the grass jelly one by one. In the blink of an eye, it's already 10 o'clock in the evening. I finally got all the information on the fairy grass. I'm really tired. However, it's already so late, Shrek Sanmei should have gone to bed. After muttering softly, Shen Fan stood up, patted the dirt on his body, and walked quickly towards the dormitory of Xiao Wu and the others. No. The three Shrek beauties are also a bit too courageous. I don't even close the door when I sleep. Hey. Looking at the appearance of this wooden comb, it should be the wooden comb that Xiao Wu Mama gave to Xiao Wu. As expected, Xiao Wu put it in her rabbit backpack, and I found it as soon as I looked for it. Okay. Now that we have found it, let's get out of the way and deal with Tang Hao. Shen Fan gently helped the three girls close the living room door and quickly ran towards Tang Hao's hiding place. However, what Shen Fan didn't notice was that not long after he left, the three dancing girls in the room who were pretending to be asleep opened their eyes and got up again to gather together. Although Shen Fan looks a little brighter on the surface, his character is really good. After he found the wooden comb in the living room, he didn't even step into our room. Zhu Zhuqing said a little surprised. Maybe. Xiao Wu was non-committal. I don't know how he will deal with Tang Hao. At this time, Ning Romrom also spoke. You'll find out after you read it. After Zhu Zhuqing finished speaking, Xiao Wu and Ning Romrom's attention turned to the live broadcast room. At this moment, Shen Fan had stopped about 100 meters away from Tang Hao. When he turned his hand, a dragon beard needle appeared in his hand. Hey. Use Tang San's hidden weapon to deal with Tang Hao. I will kill Tang Hao for 1,000 years. Douluo Tang Yuehua, damn it. Douluo Ah Yin. Girls, can you stop being such a prank? Naturally, Shen Fan didn't know that he was being watched the whole time. After preparing everything, he quietly came behind Tang Hao, and then a cold light rushed out. The next second, Shen Fan used the teleportation talisman at the same time. Appeared in an empty room not far away. What? Just the second after Shen Fan was teleported into an unoccupied room, a roar that was particularly loud in the dark night resounded around the Tiendo Shrek Academy. For a time, all the teachers and students of Shrek Academy, as well as some ordinary residents around Shrek Academy, were yelling and swearing full of resentment. Some even walked to the street, intending to see who was causing trouble at night. Clear dreams. Stinky boy. I know it is you. Come out if you can. At this time, Tang Hao was covering the wound in that place with one hand while looking around fiercely. With his eyes that were selective and devouring, the ordinary residents who came out to check the situation quickly ran back to their homes. At home, the door was closed tightly. Chapter 36 Shen Fan, I am just romantic, but I am not obscene. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Nice needle. As I said before, every time I see Tang Hao, Tang San, and Yu Xiaogang just standing there helpless and furious, I feel comfortable all over. In the deserted room, Shen Fan admired Tang Hao's grimace with grimaces for a long time. It was not until Flanders welcomed Tang Hao with a dark expression into Shrek Academy that he looked away and gloated. Come on. It's getting late, please turn off the live broadcast. After saying that, Shen Fan placed an exchanged gold soul coin on the table in the room, and then disappeared. The live broadcast room has been closed. Now start settling the host's live streaming rewards. Congratulations to the host for receiving 10,000 Diary Mall points, a set of martial soul skins, and a copy of the True Solution to 10,000 poisons for practicing the True Method. The rewards have been distributed, please check it yourself. The moment Shen Fan said to close the live broadcast, the diary system distributed the live broadcast rewards to the space of the diary system without any delay. That's it. It seems that except for the 10,000 diary mall points, the other two have no effect on me, right? The key is, these 10,000 diary mall points are still my handling fee for starting the live broadcast. You might as well give me a bibi dong or chin ening dal. At this time, Shen Fan had returned to the cave where Ah Yin was. Hearing the voice in his head, he couldn't help but complain in his heart. A set of Shixin Wuhuan skin is worth 100 million points. Regarding the complaints made by its own host, the diary system did not argue, but only lightly reminded them. Is Wuhuan skin so expensive? Shen Fan was a little surprised and quickly opened the diary mall to check it out. It's really 100 million points. Never mind. Maybe I can give it to my wife in the future. Besides, the true solution to all poisons is not useless, at least. Kindness. Diary system, I suddenly realized, why do I feel something is wrong with you? Shen Fan said suspiciously. What's wrong? The voice of the diary system is still as calm as ever. Is the martial soul skin just right for bibi dong? Is the true antidote to all poisons just right for Dugu Yen? Shen Fan said. The rewards are all random. After saying that, the diary system fell silent, and no matter what Shen Fan said, he stopped replying. Seeing this, Shen Fan rolled his eyes boredly, walked to sit down next to Ah Yin, and began to refine the extra fairy grass. At the same time, the diary system that pretended to be deaf and dumb in front of Shen Fan appeared in the minds of the girls. The live broadcast has ended. Start distributing rewards now. Congratulations to Douluo Yishuyer for receiving a soul ring that can grow for 100,000 years. Congratulations to Douluo Tang Ya for receiving a soul bone that can grow for 100,000 years. Congratulations to all the heroines and supporting characters in each world for receiving 100 to 3,000 random dungeon diary mall points. Note 1, during the live broadcast, speaking in the live broadcast room can increase the chance of winning the grand prize. Note 2, during the period when the live broadcast is closed, the live broadcast room will not disappear. The heroines and supporting girls from all worlds can still chat through the live broadcast room. The rewards have been distributed, please check them yourself. Douluo Yishuyer in the live broadcast room said, Jia Jia Jia. It takes 100,000 years to grow a soul ring. Huo Wu, see if I don't beat you next time we meet. In the live broadcast room, Douluo Yawowu said, what is not good to learn? You have to learn Jia Jia Jia. How? Are you planning to have a husband-to-wife relationship? Douluo Yishuyer in the live broadcast room said, Jia Jia Jia. Douluo Yao Zi in the live broadcast room, I just got 800 points. It seems that I will have to speak more when Shen Fan broadcasts live in the future. Douluo Yishuyer in the live broadcast room, I even got 3,000 points. Douluo Yawowu in the live broadcast room said, Gun. Can you stop talking? Be careful. Yao Zi and I will come to Tianshui College to attack you. Douluo Yishuyer in the live broadcast room said, come on. I'm not afraid anymore, Jia Jia Jia. The laughter of Shui Yuer and the others in the live broadcast room gradually stopped until midnight, early the next morning. This fairy grass is really slow to refine. I refined 2 fairy grasses in one night. However, the effect is quite good. I have now reached the 7th level of the Lanxian realm. After waking up from meditating and refining the immortal grass, Shen Fan felt his own state and nodded with satisfaction. Diary system. Turn on live broadcast. After a while, Shen Fan finished washing, stroked Ah Yin, then took out his diary and turned on the live broadcast. I received 2 rewards through live broadcast yesterday. One of the rewards is a set of Shixin Wuhuan skin. Another reward is a book called The True Solution to 10,000 Poisons, which is specially developed by poison cultivators. To be honest, I feel like the diary system is playing tricks on me. Obviously, the set of Shixin Wuhuan skin that I was rewarded for was not for me at all, but for Bibi Dong. After all, Bibi Dong will become ugly after using her martial spirit avatar, and with this set of free martial soul skins given to her, she can change her appearance in the state of being possessed by a martial spirit and her martial soul avatar according to her own wishes. Douluo Yibidong, the one that can only be redeemed with 100 million points, that there are not many things in this world that Bibi Dong is really interested in, but things that can change the appearance of her martial soul's true form are definitely the treasures she wants to get the most. Another true solution to all poisons, it is also obvious that this is for Dugu Yen and the Dugu family. Of course, it's not bad after all the poisons have been cured. I am very sure that I can use it to make friends with the Dugu family. It is not a waste. I originally wanted to use the points to exchange for them when I have enough points. But this casual martial soul skin, unless Bibi Dong doesn't know about Yu Xiaogang being beaten by me, otherwise. Etc. Could it be that the diary system asked me to use Yu Xiaojiang's appearance as a gift to Bibi Dong, and then capture Bibi Dong while Bibi Dong was happy and moved? Douluo Yibabaidong. Girls. Diary system, host, your thinking is too wild. No. I am just romantic, but I am not vulgar. The last button on Bibi Dong's clothes must have been opened by herself when she was fully awake and knew who she was having sex with. Douluo Bibi Dong, should I thank you? Bibi Dong's smile became even colder, ahem. It seems to be going too far. I have refined 2 immortal grasses last night, and my strength has reached the 7th level of Lanxian realm. This can be considered a good result. I originally thought it was good that a piece of fairy grass could improve my strength in the second world. Who makes the martial arts training system and the combat power shown by my training system completely incomparable. Chapter 37 exposes Tang Hao's trap for Ah Yin. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Speaking of this, I am quite curious about whether the combat power of the nameless true method I practiced is stronger or weaker than the methods of cultivation in other worlds except Douluo continent. When I reach a higher level, I will definitely give it a try. Haha. Speaking of other worlds, I thought of another joke. Although there are many strange worlds in the worlds that I can go to now, the one that left me speechless the most was the novel The Emperor of Qin. The male protagonist of this novel is named Yin Zhu. He goes to school at Milan Magic Martial Arts Academy and is a piano player. Qin Emperor Xiang, that guy is the hero of our world. Who is the heroine? Qin Emperor Li Haiyang, is it him? Qin Emperor Sura, how to say. This Yin Zhu is really kind in terms of character, even to put it harshly, he is just a good-for-nothing with no bad intentions. Compared with Tang San, a shameless person, he is as good as heaven and earth. But. Haha. I still can't help but want to laugh. Whether it is a novel or an anime, when the male protagonist and the biggest villain begin the final battle, the male protagonist relies on force to achieve the final victory. Only Yin Zhu, who relied on his own dupeng, managed to kill the final female villain alive in the final battle. Yes, that's what it means, alive and well. Hee hee. Qin Emperor Xiang, no, right? Qin Emperor Li Haiyang, this. Emperor Sulla. Girls, is this what you call kindness? Do you have any misunderstanding about the word kindness? Whether the female villain is willing or forced, it only shows that Yin Zhu is not a thing. If the female villain was willing, then the male protagonist would kill her in the end. This is a typical scumbag who doesn't recognize anyone even if he mentions it. If the female villain was forced, then wouldn't the male protagonist be doing secret room stuff? Douluo Yishuiyur in the live broadcast room, I really don't know who the heroine of Emperor Qin will be. She will definitely be happy in the future. After all, the male protagonist is too strong. Shui Yuer's thinking is always so different. Qin Emperor Xiang in the live broadcast room, my best friend Li Haiyang probably won't be able to escape. She's very fond of that boy. Qin Emperor Li Haiyang in the live broadcast room, don't talk nonsense. Now whenever he thinks of Yin Zhu's behavior, Li Haiyang has an indescribable feeling, but she knew it was impossible for the two of them. Okay, let's not talk about this weird male protagonist. If you say any more, I will faint from laughter. Speaking of words. I had an idea before. I plan to find a Soul Master Academy to join, and then defeat Tang San in the elite competition. Originally, I haven't finally confirmed which college I want to join. However, now that I think about it, I still wear a mask and it would be more appropriate to join Shrek Academy. First, you can hook up with Shrek Sanmei, Jiangzhu, and Lu Erlong nearby. Secondly, you can also suppress Tang San nearby. Otherwise, if I were studying in another academy and wanted to suppress Tang San, I would have to spend 2,000 points each time to teleport back and forth. This would be too wasteful. Jie. Lu Erlong, I don't believe you don't have that kind of thinking at your age. Douluo Erlong, give me some eggs. I'm in need, can't you do it yourself? Also, don't just talk about other people's things and suddenly come to me. Douluo Yishuiur in the live broadcast room said, this Shen Fan, why doesn't he like young people, but he likes these older aunties. Douluo Erlong in the live broadcast room, I am still very young. Again, when I get the chance, I will definitely take a look at Bibi Dong and Lu Erlong's hands. Based on my experience, just by looking at their hands, I can tell whether they usually do it by themselves and have enough food and clothing. Douluo Yibabaidong. Speaking of this, I suddenly thought of Tang Hao. Is this guy an incompetent person? Ah Yin has been hanging around for so long, has he really never been to that kind of place? Douluo Yin, that's well said. Why do you keep talking about Hao's head again? You changed the topic too quickly. Well. Actually, I feel worthless for Ah Yin. What a beautiful lady, now she looks like this. After writing this, Shen Fan gently stroked Ah Yin's leaves with pity in his eyes. Maybe Ah Yin will never think of it until he dies. Her fall was probably entirely caused by Tang Hao, her most trusted husband. Douluo Yin, how is that possible? Ah Yin's beautiful eyes widened. I remember that when I mentioned Xiao Wu being plotted by Tang Hao, I mentioned Tang Hao's plan. And Tang Hao's method of dealing with Ah Yin is almost exactly the same as Tang Hao's method of dealing with Xiao Wu. The only difference is that the person who ultimately benefited was from Haotian Douluo to Tang San. Douluo Yin, it's not impossible. I do not believe. Ah Yin was very excited, I don't know anything else, and I'm too lazy to write more. Just because when Ah Yin was pregnant, Tang Hao not only did not take her to a safe place to live in seclusion, but also took her to wander around in various large cities, Tang Hao could not justify it. You know, when Ah Yin was pregnant, she couldn't hide her soul beast aura at all. At this time, no matter what important things happen, it is mainly to ensure Ah Yin's safety. What is there to see in these large cities? If you really want to go shopping, you can wait until Ah Yin gives birth to the child and then visit all the large, medium and small cities on Douluo continent. Ah Yin only needs 10 months to give birth to a child, and it doesn't take 10 years. How? Don't you, Tang Hao, even have 10 months to wait? Do you have to go to the city at this time? Douluo Yin, this. If Tang Hao still had a reason to quibble about taking the pregnant Ah Yin around in various large cities, then he couldn't justify the next incident at all. Everyone in the entire Douluo continent knows how noble the Pope of Wuhuan Palace is. This also leads to the fact that every time the Pope leaves Wuhuan Palace, the places he passes must have been notified long ago. But what about Tang Hao? Not only did he not take Ah Yin away in advance, he actually brought Ah Yin to the only path that Qian Xuanji, the Pope, must pass through. What is this based on? What kind of heart can be pressed? Chapter 38 Ah Yin, so is this the truth? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Douluo Yin in the live broadcast room, Yuehua. Aren't you going to say something? Douluo Tang Yuehua in the live broadcast room. Sister-in-law, you know. Due to my own martial arts, I have already left the Haotian sect, and I have not seen my second brother for more than 10 years. Douluo Yin in the live broadcast room, you really don't know anything? Douluo Tang Yuehua in the live broadcast room, sister-in-law, this is just Shen Fan's guess. Maybe it was just an accident. Besides, my sister-in-law has also seen how high-spirited the second brother was in the past, but how decadent he is now. All of this is probably because he felt that he didn't protect you well and kept blaming himself. Douluo in the live broadcast room, this. Seeing that what Tang Yuehua said seemed to make sense, Ah Yin didn't know whether he should continue to doubt Tang Hao. After hesitating for a while, Ah Yin, who was confused, could only look at the copy of the diary again. In fact, there is also something very suspicious. I don't know if Ah Yin has thought of it. When she and Tang Hao were chased by Qian Xuanji, why didn't Tang Hao take her and escape to the Star Do forest? With Ah Yin Lan Yin Huang's life force, as long as Tang Hao takes her to the Star Do forest where the ground is full of blue-silver grass, let alone Qian Xuanji, even if Qian Daolu comes, it will be difficult. Ah Yin's sword is dead. Unless Qian Daolu can wipe out all the blue-silver grass in the entire Star Do forest. Douluo Yin. Now let's look at Tang Hao's treatment of Tang San and see if Tang Hao really loves Ah Yin. As I said before, Tang Hao's attitude towards Tang San was completely to let Tang San fend for himself regardless. If it weren't for the help of Jack, the elder of the Holy Soul Village, and if Tang San's soul was that of an adult, our Douluo hero would have starved to death before he could grow up. Let me ask, if Tang Hao really loves Ah Yin, how could he treat the only love between him and Ah Yin like this? At least, if Ah Yin and I have a child, I will definitely be very kind to that child. Douluo Yin, can you finish speaking carefully? Later, Tang San awakened his martial soul, and he went home happily and told Tang Hao that he was innately full of soul power. After hearing this, Tang Hao looked excited at first, but after seeing for the first time that Tang San's awakened martial spirit was blue-silver grass, his expression turned cold for a moment. A funny scene appeared. When Tang San showed his second martial spirit, the clear sky hammer, to Tang Hao's expression was like a chameleon's, his face suddenly changed to full of excitement, he even held Tang San in his arms for the first time. Douluo Yin. Girls. Also, an even more ridiculous scene occurred here. After Tang Hao and Tang San had a good talk about their father-son affection, Tang Hao suddenly said to Tang San seriously, "From now on you must use the hammer in your left hand to protect the grass in your right hand." It sounds quite touching, as if I want to use the clear sky hammer to protect the blue-silver emperor to make up for my regret of not being able to protect Ah Yin. As a result, before he could say a few more words, Tang Hao seriously told Tang San that before you grow up, you must not let others see your clear sky hammer martial spirit. Seeing this, I wanted to ask Tang Hao, are you kidding me? You are not allowed to use the clear sky hammer spirit, so how can you use the hammer to protect the grass? Of course, some people may say that since Ah Yin's death, Tang Hao has become decadent. Doesn't this show how much Tang Hao cares about Ah Yin? And what about Tang Hao who loves Ah Yin so much? Maybe he is plotting against Ah Yin. Douluo Tang Yuehua, why do you feel like you are playing me? Tang Yuehua's face darkened. Douluo Yin, yeah, that's what Yuehua said. You can explain it and see if Yuehua is right. Different from Tang Yuehua's sullen face, Ah Yin realized that Shen Fan had finally reached the point that made her extremely troubled. She immediately put aside her previous unhappiness and cheered up. In this regard, I can only say that I think too much. The reason for Tang Hao's decadence was not because of Ah Yin, but because of the Haotian sect. According to Tang Hao's original idea, he used Qian Xuanji to make Ah Yin sacrifice to him when he was desperate, and then he returned to the Haotian sect with 100,000-year soul ring and 100,000-year soul bone to succeed the Haotian sect's leader. Position. But what Tang Hao didn't expect was that things would develop completely beyond his previous imagination. He actually seriously injured Qian Xuanji with a hammer. After Qian Xuanji returned to Wuhuan Hall, there was news that the Pope was hammered to death by Tang Hao. Now, things are getting serious. Originally, if Tang Hao was just competing with Qian Xuanji for a soul beast, then Ah Yin chose to sacrifice it to Tang Hao. Afterwards, no matter how angry Qian Xuanji was, it would not affect Wuhuan Palace and Haotian relationship between clans. But if you, Tang Hao, destroyed the Pope, then the definition of this matter will be completely different. And the development of the matter is indeed like this. Under the strong pressure of the Wuhuan Palace, the old leader of the Haotian sect was angered to death by Tang Hao. The remaining people of the Haotian sect did not even have the thought of resisting, and directly abandoned them, including Dan Hao. All affiliated sects, including the four attribute sects, immediately chose to seal their sects and live in seclusion. However, even if the Haotian sect chose to surrender at the first time, it still suffered heavy losses in the pursuit of the Wuhuan Palace. If Qian Douluo, the chief priest of the Wuhuan Palace, was not the only true gentleman on the Douluo continent, the Haotian sect would have suffered heavy losses. The sect will definitely be exterminated. So, after this incident, Tang Hao changed from the famous successor of the Haotian sect who had everything he wanted, to a poor guy with nothing and a home that could not return, which was even more harmful to the Haotian sect's followers. The number one sect in the world has turned into a clown sect. With such a gap, how can Tang Hao not become decadent? After all, Tang Hao wanted to get more, but now he has lost everything. Douluo Ah Yin, so this is the truth, that Ah Yin fell into silence, of course. Actually, Tang Hao was also plotted this time. He is not an idiot, how could he not know the consequences of hammering the Pope to death? Unfortunately, when he hammered down, God Shura directly added divine power to the Haotian hammer, which directly severely injured Qian Xuanji. Otherwise, with the same soul power levels, how could Qian Xuanji, a god-level seraph, be seriously injured by Tang Hao's clear sky hammer? Even if Tang Hao explodes the ring, it won't work. What's more, there were two other titled Douluo protecting Qian Xuanji at the time. Chapter 39 Tang 3's reputation has declined again. You are listening at novelfold.audio. In fact, the outside world has spread rumors that the Haotian sect's ring explosion is too powerful. I have even heard that a level 97 ring blaster can fight a level 99 peerless Douluo. If the ring explosion is really that powerful, then what's the deal with Douluo continent and Wuhuan Palace? In other words, if the explosive ring is really so powerful, then why does the Haotian sect dare not start a war with Wuhuan Palace, but choose to run away directly? It is clear. The strong thing is not the ring explosion, but every time Tang Hao and others explode the ring, God Shura is there to help them with his divine power. For example, at the end of this elite competition, in order to rescue Tang San and Xiao Wu, Tang Hao was able to use a ring explosion to repel 6 or 7 titled Douluo at once even when he was seriously injured. This can no longer be expressed as an exaggeration, but God Shura completely regards everyone on Douluo continent as sand sculptures, and is too lazy to even show off. Douluo Yining Rongrong in the live broadcast room, this is indeed outrageous. My grandpa Jian is now at level 96. Even with the assistance of my Baba's 7 treasure glazed tile pagoda, it's only 1 to 2 at most. How can a seriously injured Tang Hao be so strong? Don't talk about the quality of martial arts. Among those who can cultivate to the level of title Douluo, whose martial soul will be of poor quality. Besides, if you really compare the quality of martial arts spirits, my grandpa Jian's 7 killing sword martial arts spirits are no worse than the clear sky hammer. If it weren't for the fact that there are too few people in grandpa Jian's family, it would be hard to say who is the best martial spirit in the world. Let's not talk about the issue of ring explosion. Actually, what Tang Hao really loves is the Haotian sect. This can be seen from the fact that Tang Hao will not hesitate to lose one of his arms and legs in the future, but also return the inherited soul bones of the Haotian sect to the sect. At that time, Tang Hao clearly told Tang San that what happened back then was his fault, that he had failed the sect, and that he had to give an explanation to the sect. As for the impact on the sect, he could only let Tang San go. Compensate. According to Tang Hao's intention, as long as Tang San returns these 2 inherited soul bones to the Haotian sect, coupled with Tang San's twin martial soul talents, the people of the Haotian sect will definitely accept Tang San. In this way, the addition of Tang San, a peerless genius with twin martial souls, to the Haotian sect can greatly enhance the sect's strength, and Tang San can also get help from the sect. This is simply killing two birds with one stone. It's just that Tang Hao didn't know that Tang San would play so well. After receiving 2 inherited soul bones from Tang Hao, Tang San boarded the Haotian sect for the first time. This time, because Tang San was still very weak, he was unable to compete with the Haotian sect. So, Tang San knelt on the ground and kowtowed 3 times, and told Tang Xiao that what happened back then was my father's fault. He also said that it is only natural that the father's debt should be repaid by the son. I am willing to bear all responsibilities for my father. Then he said, I don't know if I can shoulder this responsibility, but I am willing to use my life to serve the sect and do my best to serve the sect. In this way, Tang San gained Tang Xiao's approval. But soon, several elders of the Haotian sect came over aggressively, expressing their unwillingness to forgive Tang Hao, let alone accept Tang San, fearing that Tang San would be like Tang Hao in the future and cause heavy losses to the Haotian sect. So, Tang San knelt down again and kowtowed 3 times. At this time, the reason Tang San gave was that the people in front of him were all his elders, and it was also because of his father's debt to the sect. Afterwards, after a series of nonsense, the elders agreed to forgive Tang Hao, but Tang San had to agree to 3 conditions. The first condition is to reach level 80 within 10 years. The second condition is that within 10 years, return the head of a titled Douluo from the spirit hall to the Haotian sect. The third condition is that the 8th soul ring must be a 100,000-year soul ring. Tang San agreed one by one. Douluo yi ning rongrong in the live broadcast room, Xiao Wu. Tang San probably has the idea of a 100,000-year soul ring coming to you. Douluo Xiaowu in the live broadcast room, it should be so. Didn't Shen Fan say that I sacrificed myself to Tang San in the end? Douluo Yining Rongrong in the live broadcast room, you should keep your distance from Tang San. He's a terrible person. Ever since she knew the fate of Grandpa Jian, Grandpa Bone and Ba Ba, Ning Rongrong was now full of hostility towards Tang San. In this way, Tang San's first mission to the Haotian sect was completed. Some time later, Tang San boarded the Haotian sect for the second time. This time, Tang San's strength can already compete with the Haotian sect. So, this time he told the elders of Haotian sect that my father was right about what happened back then. After another period of time, Tang San boarded the Haotian sect for the 3rd time. This time, Tang San's strength can already crush the Haotian sect. So, this time Tang San told the elders of the Haotian sect that what happened back then was your Haotian sect's fault. Not to mention, this time Tang San not only put all the blame on the Haotian sect, but also severely beat several elders of the Haotian sect. Douluo Tang Yuehua, this. At first, after seeing Tang San's behavior when he first went to Haotian sect, Tang Yuehua felt that even though Tang San was wrong in everything, he was at least very good to his elders. But now it seems that if Tang San is really brought back to Haotian sect, it will be a disaster rather than a blessing. Douluo Iba Sisi said, why is the successor chosen by Lord Poseidon becoming more and more unreliable? If such a person is really allowed to inherit the throne of Lord Poseidon, wouldn't the reputation of our Poseidon Island be completely ruined? The most important thing is, do such people really know how to be grateful? That the more he got to know Tang San, the less Bo Saishi wanted to sacrifice to start the divine test. Douluo Yishui in the live broadcast room said, this Tang San has really refreshed my 3 views time and time again. This should be like, when I was weak, I was submissive, but when I was strong, I punched hard, right? Douluo Yiwowu in the live broadcast room said, I am getting more and more confused now. For someone like Tang San, what kind of madness did the original me have to go and kiss him? I bother. Douluo Irma Xiaotao in the live broadcast room, hot chicken. I think we should change the name of our Poseidon Pavilion. Douluo Urshan Liner in the live broadcast room. Douluo Xiaowu in the live broadcast room, am I in the other world? Douluo Xiaowu in the live broadcast room, yes. Douluo Xiaowu in the live broadcast room, you and Tang San have been together for 10,000 years. Tell me honestly, how is he? Douluo Xiaowu in the live broadcast room, I don't know. It's been 10,000 years, and I seem to have never seen him clearly. Douluo Xiaowu in the live broadcast room, this. No wonder Shen Fan doubts your IQ. Douluo Xiaowu in the live broadcast room. It sounds like you have a high IQ. Chapter 40 Shen Fan and Ah Yin complete the signing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Speaking of which, Tang Hao was not much better at playing tricks than Tang San. He simply used the word reality to the fullest. When Tang San showed no talent for cultivation, Tang Hao ignored Tang San because of all the strange things Tang San showed. After discovering that Tang San was born with full soul power and a twin martial soul, he saw the hope of revenge and the rise of the Haotian sect again. He immediately became obsessed with the treasure and stopped drinking. Even Tang San's he didn't care about all kinds of anomalies, and still acted like a bodyguard, secretly protecting Tang San all day long. Looking at it now, it seems that Tang Hao and Tang San become father and son, which is quite a match. Both of them are the kind of people who do whatever it takes to achieve their goals. They are also the kind of people who can cold-bloodedly kill themselves for their own interests. His daughter-in-law became a person with soul rings and soul bones. Speaking of Tang Hao and Tang San both sacrificing their wives into soul rings and soul bones, I suddenly remembered that very explosive thing. Starting from Tang Hao's generation, the descendants of the Tang family have all married soul beasts, and these soul beasts who became the Tang family's wives were eventually sacrificed to their men. Douluo Yi and Douluo Xiaowu. Douluo Yi Ah Yin. Girls. Let me see. Ah Yin sacrificed to Tang Hao. Xiao Wu sacrificed to Tang San. Wang Qiu'er sacrificed to Hui Yuhao, and Hui Yuhao should be considered half of the Tang family. Gu Yuna sacrificed the entire Soul Beast clan to Tang Wulin, the male protagonist of Douluo 3, making it impossible for the Soul Beast clan to escape the fate of genocide. Bai Xiuxiu sacrificed the fish to Tang Xuanyu, the male protagonist of Douluo 4. Good guy. Is this a tradition of the Tang family? If you don't want to sacrifice, does that mean you don't love me? It's a long time to see you. Girls. Douluo Bai Xiuxiu in the live broadcast room, voluntarily sacrificed to others. Do you look at me like I'm a piece of shit? That's definitely not me. After speaking, Bai Xiuxiu uploaded a selfie in the live broadcast room. Douluo Xiao Bai in the live broadcast room, what exactly will happen in the future? Why did my daughter choose to transform? Douluo Yishuiuir in the live broadcast room said, Xiao Wu, and Aunt Yin, please tell me your opinions. Douluo Xiao Wu in the live broadcast room, I'm already numb. Douluo Yin in the live broadcast room, oh. Douluo Yishu Emperor in the live broadcast room, Gu Yuna, I didn't expect you to be the one who hides the deepest. Ah Yin and the others chose to sacrifice themselves. Even if they sacrifice themselves, it won't affect us. It's a good thing, I don't want to sacrifice, so I just sacrificed the entire Soul Beast clan. That's it, what qualifications do you have to be the co-master of Soul Beasts? From now on, we in the far north will have nothing to do with you. Douluo EBG in the live broadcast room, maybe there is some misunderstanding in this. Seeing that not only Gu Yuna's face, but also the entire dragon had turned from silver to black, Bridget had no choice but to scratch her head and explain weakly in the live broadcast room, Douluo Yishu Emperor in the live broadcast room, duh. Do you believe this yourself? Shen Fan doesn't know that other people have copies of the diary, so he definitely won't deliberately write lies. Douluo EBG in the live broadcast room, this. In fact, Bai Ji didn't understand that it was basically impossible for Shen Fan to lie in the diary, unless Shen Fan liked to lie to himself, she just didn't want to believe that the Lord, who was always so majestic, was also a lover. She couldn't believe that the Lord would personally lead all of his subordinates to the abyss of destruction for the sake of a human being. Douluo e gu yuna in the live broadcast room, okay. What's there to argue about? In the future, if Tang Wulin really appears, I will kill him with my own hands. After all, Gu Yuna's strength is there. Seeing her say this, no matter by Ji, Zg, Wang Qiuer and others, as well as Snow Emperor, Ice Emperor and others, they all stopped talking and looked at the diary again. However, at this time, Shen Fan had already put away his diary and was standing there talking to himself. It's almost time. I want to exchange myself for a treasure first, which can be used to disguise it as my martial spirit, and then I go to find De Guyen. After saying that, Shen Fan turned his attention to the diary mall and spent about half an hour selecting a treasure that was very suitable for him. As expected of the system. As long as you have enough points, you can redeem anything. Diary system. Can this super sacred book, revised, really allow soul beasts, monsters and other living beings to sign contracts as guardian beasts? Taking out a book-like thing from the diary system space, Shen Fan asked while thinking secretly in his heart. Of course it's true. This is not something very advanced. The diary system said calmly. That's good. But I remember, isn't there supposed to be a life guarding the war beast? Why isn't this one available? Shen Fan asked again. You can't afford it now if you have a living guardian beast. The diary system is very straightforward. Okay. Shen Fan could understand this. After all, the life guardian beast was immortal, so it was reasonable to sell it expensively. Thinking of this, Shen Fan, who had no problem, looked at Ah Yin next to him. Ah Yin. You should be able to understand what I'm saying, right? If you can understand, just nod. No, nod the leaves. Previously, Shen Fan didn't want to harm the villagers of the Holy Soul Village who had no grievances against him because of his own reasons, but now that he has the super sacred book, he can sign Ah Yin as a guardian beast and let Ah Yin transform into a useless creature. The body remains in this cave. Ugh. Seeing that Shen Fan was no longer planning to act with him, Ah Yin sighed in his heart and shook his leaves slightly. Yo. He actually nodded. I thought you would just keep pretending to be an ordinary blue-silver grass and ignore me. Shen Fan couldn't help but reached out and shook the leaf that Ah Yin nodded at, but Ah Yin immediately broke away. In response, Shen Fan smiled and didn't care. After organizing his words in his mind, he spoke again. I have something to discuss with you now. I don't know if you are willing. Rest assured. If you really don't want to, I won't force you. With that said, Shen Fan told Ah Yin the function of the super sacred book. Of course, what Ah Yin was told must have been an altered version. After all, Shen Fan didn't know that Ah Yin had a copy of the diary, so he naturally wouldn't say what he shouldn't. If you agree, then just nod as before. If you don't agree, shake your head. After saying this, Shen Fan looked at Ah Yin expectantly. It wasn't until he saw Ah Yin nodding again that Shen Fan breathed a sigh of relief, and immediately completed the contract with Ah Yin as quickly as possible.